because they know I got y'all in pocket. That's power. Puff has money. He don't have no more power. Jay still has power. So we talk to our community about focusing on generational wealth.
You good?
There's a great line in Game of Thrones. It's when Littlefinger is saying to Cersei, there's one thing I learned my whole life is that knowledge is power. And then Cersei walks up to him and she goes, guards, take a knife, put it to his throat and slit his throat. And they go up and they're about to slit his throat. She goes, guards, stop. Step back 2 feet. And then she goes, power is power.
Damn.
Money is not power.
I like that.
Money can influence power, but at the end of the day, power is power.
Hold on, I gotta say something. Let's just talk about something. So, it's something being said in the black community that I want to address. It's been said by all of our leaders, and I want to address it. They keep saying we need to focus on generational wealth. Black people need to focus on generational wealth, right? Let me give you someone who had generational wealth. Puff. Generational wealth, but why were they able to take him down? Because Puff didn't have generational power. We keep telling people to our community focus on generational wealth. Wealth is a result of something. Wealth is a result of a move you make, a investment. It's a result. Wealth is also a result of power. Now, let me give y'all why I say that, right? So here's what it looks like, right? You could have, let's say you have 100 million, 300 million. Puff had more than that, right? $1 billion.
Corporate America is made and built for white men. So when you're going into corporate America, usually your entryway is to help them with their diversity problem. And so that's what I did with Ciroc. But I told them I don't work for nobody. Everything in my portfolio I own. So you guys have to know my ultimate dream is a tequila. So it's like you make a deal. You make a deal like, I'm gonna advance this for you so then we could be good partners and you can give me what I want, which is for me to own my brand and to be able to build generational wealth for my kids and my people. And I just need the same 24 hours as y'all giving everybody else in your portfolio. And I couldn't get that. And so when I saw that, I was like, nah, I'm gonna fight because it's bigger than me. It's about not just me, it's about we, it's about all of us. So I chose my purpose over profit. And that's the whole Deleon situation.
Yeah.
What can Puff hand his kids, y'all? All he can hand them is the wealth. They ain't prepared for the world. They don't know what the world looks like because he had all the wealth. And while he was accumulating wealth, guess who was accumulating power? Hov. So now Hov is focused on generational power. So Hov is like, so Rock Nation is out here telling people we'll manage you for 5%. And everybody's like, oh, that's dumb. Not the Hov. Hov smart.
Steve Jobs owned 1% of Apple. I mean, now 1% of a $3 trillion company, right? But if you look at his percentage, you're like, 1%? Ha, 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 ha. So, you know, we've been trained to look at the percentage of something you own. Right, we have to get it. It ain't what you own. You can own 100% of nothing. It's whatever the strategy calls for. Like Ace, LVMH was a brilliant strategic partner for me. We were lucky to find the Cartiers who've been in the business since the 1800s. Like there's no one that looks like us in champagne. We've done something really amazing and got the attention of one of the most prestigious brands, right? And it was like a beautiful marriage. Like I owned 100%. Now I could have said, I want to own 100% of this thing. Or I can own 50% of it and take this and push it even further, right? That was right for that specific situation. Again, I own 50% of it. So it's still an asset that I can pass down to my kids.
Hov like, yeah, we'll get 20 of y'all for 5%. And then I'm going to go to the NFL and make them give me $100 million for y'all. Then I'm going to go to the Puma and make me president of basketball operations and give me their jet because they know I got y'all in pocket. That's power. Puff has money. He don't have no more power. Jay still has power. So when we talk to our community about focusing on generational wealth, nigga, your kids are gonna wanna do something. I can give my kids $1 billion. They're not gonna just sit on the fucking beach and just enjoy life. They're gonna get out there and I want my kids to get out there and hustle for themselves. How do I give that? I establish a power structure and then I can hand it to my son. So that's what the Jewish people understood that I love, right? And I wanna give this lesson again because figured it out. When the Holocaust happened, they was like, you know what? This is never gonna happen to us again. And instead of leaving it in the government's hands and anybody else's hands, they said, we're gonna make sure it never happens. So they make a plan. We're gonna take the bullshit jobs. They sacrificed. You gotta sacrifice to get to the wealth. So to the power. They sacrificed working the jobs nobody wanted, and they made their kids either be one of three things: a lawyer, a doctor, or in finance. You know what? I want to know why they wanted to be one of those three things? Because the law is the structure that we all follow that keeps us free and protects us from everything. Health keeps us alive. And finance tells our people where the money is at and how to get to it. And then, in result of that, entertainment blows up, and the Jewish people become the most powerful people in America. They run everything, because they're focused on power. Let me tell you something. Jody Gerson, she is the CEO of Universal Publishing. Her son is the EVP of Columbia. That's generational power. That's how you do. I'm gonna put my son in place over there, and they do that. You know why I think we lost generational power? Let me tell you why I think we focused on wealth and not power. It's one person's fault. It's one incident that occurred in Black history that I think killed us from focus in the music business, should I say? Dame Dash cursing out Kevin Liles.
Staff, get the fuck out. It's all good. Don't have no meetings. No more. Just like I thought. Just like I thought. Then when my staff comes, you'll cancel meetings. Just like I thought. What you mean bullshit? The fuck? Y'all niggas having meetings about my artist without calling me?
Get off the bullshit.
It ain't no bullshit.
Get off the bullshit.
It ain't no bullshit. Man, look, oh, y'all look, everybody here is ashamed of y'all. Who wants to work under a coward?
They don't have to. I ain't no
Cowards. You're
I
cowards.
ain't no coward.
You're cowards. Let's go back to our office. Y'all want to have a meeting about Jay? Y'all call me.
When Dame cursed Kevin Liles out, it changed how everybody saw label power. Because now you see the CEO of a cooler label telling the other dude, shut your ass up. It's my shit. And I don't think nobody Black wanted to be in the buildings no more. Or not like that. So everybody was like, I got to get my own shit. I got to build my own shit. Kevin Liles just cashed the fuck out. $100 million. He probably walked away from the 300 deal.
Our biggest power, and I'm a living example of it, is when you put diverse people at the head of the company and you allow that person to make cultural decisions.
Why did he able to do that? Because he figured out the same shit Dame did. Build something, sell it, that's it. And now we have nobody sitting in the buildings. Now, Lucien Grange, on the other hand, he wanted to focus on the power. Now, his son is the CEO of Atlantic. See what I'm talking about? That's generational power, where I'm in such a powerful position that my kids can benefit from my position, not from my money. Because money comes and goes.
Don't you think your son would love if his name was up there? Dash, or whatever your last name is, instead of somebody else's? My pride is in my children. Like, look what I'm doing right now. Look at my son. I taught my son never to have a boss. He's 23. He owns a restaurant. He has cookies. He has equity. He busts his ass so he can pass it on to his son.
I mean, I don't even want to imagine what Puff going through, but that shit is going out through the floor. It's like Scrooge McDuck money going down, 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 because no one around him is in power. He didn't put Harv Pierre in power. He didn't put D-Dot in power. He didn't put Kirk Burroughs in power. He didn't put nobody in power. He maintained all the power, which meant he maintained all the money when he sold. And now, who's there to protect him? Who's in his life? Donald Trump was a billionaire. He wanted to get into politics because he wanted to establish more power, guys. Not money, power. Elon Musk is fucking with you and everything. It's just power. Black folks need to start focusing on generational power. And here's how I would do it, just if you want to know. I will focus on seeking, I will focus on being accountable, and I will focus on being disciplined. We have to seek. Seeking means figuring out what we want to do. Like, what do you want to do, right? Then we have to focus on being disciplined, because once you know what you want to do, now you can't afford to play, you can't afford to fuck around, you can't afford to do bad things. You just can't. You can't afford it. You're broke. You're trying to come up. And accountability is you looking in the mirror every night saying, what can I do better tomorrow? That is all Ray Daniels did. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I figured out it was music. I was disciplined as fuck. I cut everything off to focus on music. I started making money, and when I started learning, when I was making mistakes, I blamed myself. LeBron, Drake. That's why I act the way I act, y'all. I'm not being a dick. I'm just saying, if I do something wrong, I'm blaming myself. If somebody did something wrong to me, I'm looking at myself. What did I do in that? What did I do to make that person do something wrong? My point I'm saying is that we're going to be talking a lot about this on the Raydar Report. Generational power. Build something that you can give to your kids, that you could give to your kids, that they could give to their kids. Build the Johnson & Johnson brand. Build the Disney brand. Nobody in a Disney has to do shit because of what Walt Disney did 120 years ago. Like, we got to start getting there, guys. Focusing on generational power. The wealth follows. Everything follows once we get power. What else we talking about?
I was called to have a meeting with Diageo. They knew that I was kind of killing things in the culture. They were trying to fix their diversity problem. And through that, a meeting was set up, and I told them, you know, I want to be an owner, that I have these ideas from promoting parties at Howard, just remembering that I would always get the door and never get the bar. And so I said I have aspirations to have black-owned brands owned by black people behind the bar and a part of your organization. We get a test project. I'm looking at their portfolio, and they say we could start something from scratch. But I'm looking at their portfolio, and I remember one night I was having a great time with Ciroc. I had some Ciroc. It was made by grapes. And I remember the light bulb went off in my head. I said, I don't want to wait and develop nothing. Let me show you what I could do with Ciroc. Let me show you how I could turn your revenue around. They were losing $40 million a year. And I went and turned it around and took it to 2.6 million cases from 40,000 cases. And so 15 years later, even though I had that success, I was always fighting for Ciroc not to be pigeonholed, not to be pigeonholed as a black brand, not to be pigeonholed as an urban brand. I already went through that. I went through that with Sean John. And so with Ciroc, it was the same thing, get into the spirits industry. No matter what industry I went into, I always came up against this ceiling that they just wanted to keep me in the colored section. I would say for businesses, you have white-only business, just like you have white-only bathrooms back in the days, and you have black-only business. And so my fight is to always make sure that we could just do business. I want to be treated equally like anybody else. And so that's what the fight is about. And it's not me just fighting for me. I'm fighting for us.